It is Sunday morning. We are in Hopa in Turkey, and we are just about an hour away from the Georgia border crossing, and that's why there's all of these trucks behind me are backed up for miles and miles. We saw them coming into town for like 20 minutes yesterday, so they can only go through at night. So hopefully we're going to get through quickly this morning. Fingers crossed. We made it through the Georgia border.
Another one.
Our first stop in Georgia was to a really, really old fort built in the 11th century.
Oh shit.
Stop it! Say something constructive and intelligent.
Over there is the lavatory.
No!
And it's here. There's the cash box and souvenir shop.
Okay, but where are we?
We're in Romania.
This is actually like a Georgian gym. This is how the bros get fat.
And then you go the other way to the biceps.
Yeah.
Go with the other hand. Don't drop your purse down the well.
We left the city of Batumi, headed for a campsite on the Black Sea to get some lunch, which was a harder task than it sounds.
Mine's 30. Is that a 3C?
This is us trying to order when we've got no idea what we're ordering. We're just picking a number each.
Okay, yeah, I'll get 9.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, no.
I got 8 because it's the most expensive, which is about 50 cents. You guys good? So we got a 6, an 8, a 9.
5.
I'll get the 6, please.
What do you got? 5. You're right down.
I reckon mine's probably going to be chicken.
You got a 6?
Yep, whatever that is.
So it looks like we ordered some chicken, some fish, some kind of bread, some crumpet, we're not sure what it is, and some salad. So yeah, we got a little bit of everything. We came out alright. After lunch, we said bon voyage to Katie and Jacob, who are cutting up through Russia to get to the finish line before their visas run out.
Yeah! Oh. Oh. And then there were 2.
Just me and you on the beach.
Yes.
This is our chateau for the evening. Swag, which is incredibly dusty from Cappadocia. Some trees, a bit of privacy, a nice cool sea breeze, and an amazing view of the ocean. It's not too shabby for Jono and Rebecca.
I was very impressed with the inventive fishing technique created by the kids in Georgia. One of them swims out the end of a line with a long piece of elastic on it, followed by hooks. This is anchored to a heavy rock. To check the lines, there's enough stretch in the elastic that they can pull in the hooks without moving the heavy rock. This gives them the ability to effectively cast, recheck the hooks, bring in the fish time and time again without having to continually swim out. Jigging seems to be the way as well, just a sunset every day. So if you're ever in the Black Sea, this is the way to catch fish. We had a decent storm last night here in Georgia. Like crazy thunder and lightning, wind, and like seriously torrential rain for about 8 hours. I had the tarpaulin set up over top of the swag so we stayed dry. But this beach that we were at yesterday, that was serene. It's just wild now. It's pretty cool. Apparently Georgia gets a lot of rain. Who knew? Every night we camp seems to be the only nights we get rain.
Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, yeah. And then you will be driving all the way, like, I feel like this country had a lot of wealth at some stage.
Definitely not now.
Big mansions and stuff that are just like crumbling empty.
We've been told repeatedly by other ralliers that Georgians are the craziest drivers. They're, well,
They weren't wrong. They weren't.
yeah.
They weren't exaggerating. We just stayed with my mate Gio last night, and I said to him, Gio, Georgians got a really bad name for being the craziest drivers in the world. And what did he say?
He said, well, I think people should be able to do whatever they want.
No rules.
No
man.
rules. It's like, well, clearly everyone else in Georgia thinks the same way.
And then I said, can you help me with something? I'm really confused at the intersections, but mainly the roundabouts. I was like, who gives way? He's like, nobody knows.
Literally, there's no rules. It's so crazy here, and every car looks like it's been through a demolition derby. It's like got chunks missing off the front, tires and bent, and
One headlight.
headlight.
And not like a blown headlight. The whole unit's missing.
just gone.
Whole front spoilers, like quarter panels, just like, it's still moving, no problem.
Hello, moo cow. We are exploring Georgia. We've come to a small town in the Ajara region called Kedja. And there's a lot of derelict buildings. And there's also some really nice mountains and low-hanging cloud. This region's quite famous for wine. Yeah, we're just looking to try and get some food. Georgian food so far has been delicious. And we're looking for this particular thing, which is like bread with the middle hollowed out, an egg, cheese, and 2 sticks of butter inside it. It's like delicious. Perfect lunch food. We found it! We found the cheesy, eggy bread, and it's actually a raw egg inside it with all the butter, and Jono's just mashing it up, and oh god, it smells so good. I'm so hungry. Tuck in. Get into it.
Our Georgian friend Gio told us about a scenic drive we could take to Armenia. Although he said the roads weren't the best, we figured we would be okay, so off to the mountains we drove.
It's easier to stay here, safe and not familiar. Sometimes it's hard to go. I feel a little nervous, put on a bit of courage. It's time to spread my wings and go into the wild, into the wild I go. It's a beautiful venture.
Real talk. Jono is doing an amazing job of navigating potholes. We think we're nearly at the top of this mountain pass now. We hope. We're on our 1 bar of petrol left. It's raining. The road is the worst we've seen yet. At the top of the mountain, we stopped and asked for directions to the closest petrol station, which was 26 kilometers ahead of us. We'd already been driving on reserves for an hour. Turns out we drove over Guderzi Pass. It's listed as one of the most dangerous roads in the world and cited as definitely not suitable for two-wheel drive cars. We made it through the mountain road. Both of our bums are so sore, and Jono just did amazingly well, and our head is hurting. My head is hurting from frowning and concentrating. But we made it, and we finally found a gas station. Now we just need to find somewhere to sleep for the night. It's
Not working?
Good morning, world. That's a big truck. We found a hotel to stay in last night. So I've just woken up and I've just come to assess the damage on Smart Arse, and luckily it's mostly aesthetic damage. Although we did bash the sump a couple of times, it seems like the worst we've got to deal with at the moment is just a lot of dried, caked mud. Last night we met a group of Italians at this hotel who had been through the Pamir Highway last year, and they said that the roads were not as bad as the ones that we drove on yesterday. So we're feeling somewhat confident that we can actually make it through the Pamir Highway if we get there. We just have to be very careful of our sump. But yeah.
Before we crossed the border into Armenia, we found this car park so I can pull over and give Smarty his daily health check.
So this is the first time we've looked under the car since driving on that horrific road yesterday, and it's not a good diagnosis.
We've punched the sump plug up into the sump, so it's leaking oil. So it's not really good.
Well, the tool bag's out. Jono's going to do some work and see if there's anything that can be done about this oil plug.
So this is the oil sump, and they usually don't come out with the one with the plug. So you suck the oil through the top of the engine to do the engine change, the oil change. This one's an aftermarket one with a plug, so you can just dump it out. But as you can see, it's not very far off the ground. So what we did yesterday on that road, although I was trying my best not to, we've smashed this here up into, so it used to come there and come down a little bit, and it's bent it all up, and this here was actually finger tight loose this morning. So I've tightened it up now, and it was only leaking oil around the outside, so it's not so bad. So I think I'm going to be right. I've got a spare sump in the boot, but yeah, that's a little update, but everything else is going alright.
Well done, babe. So that's why it's so important that we swerve and miss rocks and potholes, and why yesterday was such a challenge.
We couldn't put a sump guard because there's not enough clearance.
Yeah, as Jono just said, there's not enough clearance to put a sump guard on, so we just have to protect it. Like, it's basically, if that goes, the whole car goes. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is where our journey starts to get really crazy, so hit subscribe and join us on the road to Mongolia.